Alright, man. We back in same shirt as the last two videos because I'm trying to review these all basically at the same time to save myself time. This is not a review, actually. This is going to be something I'm going to try to do every year or season as long as this channel exists. It is my most anticipated films of this upcoming season. I'm not going to say year because some of them are 2022, others are like January 2023. I think that's the cutoff for kind of the award season, which is kind of how I scale what's what. And usually I make a list of all the movies that I either want to see or feel like I need to see for one reason or another. And so I'm going to give you mine, and there are 44 this year that are on my list. Last year I saw around 50, so I think I could actually knock it out. And some will be added to this list as it goes on, some will be taken away. Obviously I won't make a video about that. You'll just see reviews of movies that may not be on this list now because things come out randomly sometimes. There are movies that aren't on this list because right now they're not slated to come out this year, but they might. But I thought rather be safe than sorry. And there are some movies that are on this list that may get pushed back. So you never know, but I went with what seems most likely. And so I'm going to separate it into 3 videos, 3 segments, because it would be a long video for what I'm doing if I didn't. And so first segment is going to be this video, which is going to be the below the line is what I'm going to call it, which is the movies that for the most part I have here because I feel like I'm going to need to see them for one reason or another. Then we're going to have a second video, which is middle of the pack, which is stuff I want to see, but not the top of my list. And then after that, I'm going to combine the video for the honorable mentions. So it's the outside looking in, really. So that's the ones that almost got in the top 10, but not quite. And then we're going to have the top 10 single movie by movie. But this one's going to be a quick one about movies ranked from 44 through 31. I'm going to go backwards from the bottom to the top and talk about all of them, some more in depth than others. It'll be a very quick video though, so not really in depth about anything. So starting right out, we're going to have Lightyear, which is Angus Maclane, the movie about Buzz Lightyear, not the toy version. I do honestly think, although I think it's Pixar or Disney or whatever, it's one of the places that's going to make it a solid movie at worst. I just don't like the idea because I grew up with Toy Story, and I think trying to I didn't even like the fact that they went all the way to 4 movies with the toys, and now they're making this whole other spin-off for a whole other generation just to give backstory to who created the toy for Buzz Lightyear. Not who created it, but like the story behind the toy. It's like maybe there's a character that's based, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't love that it's Chris Evans instead of Tim Allen, even though I know Tim Allen's just still, but whatever. Everything about it makes me think this is unnecessary, and so I don't want to see it, but I feel like I need to because I have seen all the Toy Stories, and so I'm like, it's in that universe. Even if I'm going to see it just to rank on it, I'm going to see it. So that's why it's on the list, but in the last spot, because I really don't want to out of spite, but I feel like I have to out of loyalty to the Toy Story franchise, essentially. Then we got Avatar 2. Haven't even seen Avatar 1, but I will, and then I'll watch Avatar 2. When you finish Saving the World, it's the only reason on here is because, one, it's A24, which I try to see every A24 movie I can, and also it's Jesse Eisenberg, who I have been a fan of his plays, and I also know that he made Vivarium, I think, was his first feature film that he made, and I didn't really enjoy it, but I think it was a quality movie and it really kind of out there, and so looking forward to this. It got mixed reviews at the festivals, but not terrible, so we'll see. It's also got Finn Wolfhard and forgetting her name, but still Alice. They're both in it, so I think it'll be good. Rustin, it's got Chris Rock, post-slap. I think that'll be worth seeing. The Stars at Noon, really it's only there because I'm pretty sure it's got Mark Qualley in it, who after Maid, I want to see most of, if not everything she's in, because I think she's great, and I think she's on the rise, so I think everything she's going to be doing is hopefully going to be building even bigger and bigger as she goes. Next we got Ambulance, which is on here because Jake Gyllenhaal, I think he's a good actor, even though I think his choices in movies, especially recently, have been not my favorite, but gotta see it because he's in it, so I can judge it. It's probably gonna be the next movie that I review on here, because I know it's already out. Bullet Train, it's got Brad Pitt, looks interesting. I love that Brad Pitt's super active right now. I think it's the 3rd movie he's got, that he's one of 3 movies that he's definitely got coming out this year. And so that's a reason. It looks interesting. I love that he's getting active in the world and Hollywood again. I think he was doing limited stuff for a long time, and he was in production with he produced a lot of stuff, but now he's in front of the screen, which is great. In front of the camera. It's late, I'm sorry. Then we got Blonde. I just think it's going to be an Oscar player for actress. It's Marilyn Monroe, so it could be good. Red, White, and Water, Jennifer Lawrence. It's about a war veteran. I think it'd be good because Jennifer Lawrence, and love that she's doing something. Emancipation would have been higher because Will Smith's new. I think it's supposed to be Netflix. Maybe I'm wrong. I know he had something slated on Netflix. Everything's going wrong for this guy. He just got banned for 10 years from the Oscars, which, I mean, not to say it's not deserved, but wow. And also, just because I'm not a huge fan of what he did at the Oscars, I'm still kind of bitter about it, and I think that he could have reacted to that better. And so Emancipation, I can't be super excited about anything with Will Smith attached to it right now. I'm still getting over it, making it about me. I don't know why, but I think it'll be a good movie, but I couldn't rank it any higher. 34, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Just had to put it on this list because Into the Spider-Verse was so good. I'm not sure about the sequel, but hopefully it's just as good, if not better. 33, we got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I know a lot of people are going to have this higher on their list just because it's Black Panther, it's after the death. You know, I'm not going to get into it, but I honestly just think without having actual Black Panther there and them recasting and doing the whole thing, I don't know if it's going to go that well. And I think having it here is really just for nostalgia's sake and going, you know, I'm gonna want to see it because of that, but I also don't have super high expectations. 32, 13 Lives, which is the Ron Howard movie. I know it's got big expectations. People always do for Ron Howard, and I feel like for years he hasn't done anything other than super self-indulgent and underwhelming and underperforming movies. I know for a while he had a very specific thing and knack for something, and it worked, and I don't know. This is based on a true story about kids that got caught in like a cave or an underwater or something, and people had to go get them. It's got a good cast, but in the few Ron Howard things I've seen, I'm not a huge fan, and he's coming off of, I think the last thing he did was Hillbilly Elegy, which outside of Glenn Close, whoever, it doesn't matter who the director is, you put Glenn Close into a role, if she takes it, it's because she knows she can house it. So I don't give him credit for her being great in that, and I think everything else was garbage. I think he took a story that could have been good and made it ick and boring and uninteresting, and I think even the casting outside of Glenn Close is bad. Like I think Amy Adams is overacting, and I think she's good, but I put that on the director for telling her to do what she needs to do and it not being well. So I only have it on this list because I think it will be a player for something, and so it being in the awards conversation means I have to see it because I take a lot of interest in awards and I want to know that I have the knowledge of what's being talked about. And then lastly, we got Spirited by Sean Anders and John Morris, I think it is. Only reason this is here, and the only reason it's so high, is because it's Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, who I think, especially now, we see both of them are releasing things that are kind of flopping, other than Reynolds with Free Guy, very good. I think them together in like the 2010s would have been really interesting, or late 2000s even. But like now, people probably look and it's like, oh, it's gonna be a weird, probably uninteresting movie. But I honestly think what makes it interesting is that it's supposed to be like a musical-based thing. That alone, even if it's terrible, it's a waste of time that I will choose to have. I will not regret seeing it regardless of how bad it is. I think that it's a super funny idea, putting them together in something that's going to contain, hopefully, them singing, or anybody singing. It's going to be funny just to see them in that situation, and it's something that's just for me. I don't think anybody else would have it this high on their list, or on any list that exists, but I honestly think it's going to be really cool. So this is the bottom of the line, below the line, I'll say, movies that for the most part I feel like I'm just going to have to see for one reason or another. A lot of them I don't feel like I really want to see, but I have reason to, and so they made the list for that reason. These are my below the lines. This will be the first video. Next video is going to be the middle of the pack. Hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, concerns, or any opinions at all, drop them in the comments. Subscribe, like, subscribe. Do whatever you want. Thank you for watching. Peace. It's a 3. Peace.